I think that everybody should keep a sketchbook. Even if you're not an artist or don't consider yourself particularly creative, it can be such a powerful tool to slow down, notice, and appreciate the ordinary. If you're looking to find more peace and slow down, a sketchbook is a great way to start. So I'm going to share 3 ways that you can use a sketchbook to find calm, presence, and more clarity. Even if you don't consider yourself an artist, these gentle practices have helped me feel more grounded and mindful, and I hope you'll find them inspiring too. You don't need to be good at drawing to feel any of this, just curious, just open, just willing to notice. Starting your sketchbook journey doesn't need to be complicated. These are the basic supplies that I would recommend. Some kind of sketchbook. I like one that I can keep in a bag or even in my pocket. Water resistant pens, a water brush, and then something to add colour. So I've got a little watercolour palette with a few basic colours in it. And that would be all that I would take if I was sketching outside. Maybe a couple brushes of different sizes. If I'm working on my sketchbook inside, sometimes I'll add some other mediums, so some oil pastels or potentially acrylics. But you definitely don't need this much to start your sketchbook. So the first and perhaps most obvious way that I like to use my sketchbook is just to experiment with trying new things. So here I'm trying out some coloured pencils and portraits, neither of which are something that I particularly specialise in. But I found this really therapeutic, so I encourage you to use your sketchbook as a place to try out new medium, try out new subjects, and just have a bit of fun. Again, here I'm using oil pastel over acrylic just to capture some flowers in my garden. And that brings me on to probably one of my favourite ways to use my sketchbook, and that is to capture the nature around me, things that I see when I'm out and about, and particularly I have a bit of a soft spot for florals. So here I'm just painting some peonies. They're actually florals that I purchased rather than something that was in my garden. But as you'll see in the next pages, I also use a lot of references from life and from things that are outside. And finally, something that I love to do when I visit a new place, or even when I just want to remember a particular day, is to do some travel journaling or just some memory journaling, where I'll make a spread and just capture key moments and highlights from that day. I might draw buildings of a place I've visited, foods that I've eaten, or just some memories that kind of spark joy. And I find that doing this, when I then look back at it, I'm immediately transported back to that place and that memory. And it's such an immersive thing to do, either while you're in a place or once you've come home. So this is something that I really recommend. Having a sketchbook almost becomes a form of ritual, something that you can come back to every day, every week, or every month, and just take in the moment, take in the ordinary, and reflect on all that's around you. A sketchbook isn't about perfectionism. In fact, it's probably anything but. It's about rediscovering the role of art and drawing and creativity as a mindful practice, and an imperfect form of self-care. So I hope that this has maybe encouraged you to give sketching a try, not to develop any particular skill, although it certainly will help with that, but to help bring more peace, presence and curiosity.